everybody, it's Misty from the Suburban Edge, and today we're going to be making some cherry barbecue sauce, and I'm going to can it up in my Presto digital pressure canner. Let's get started. Now you can use any kind of ketchup that you want, but I happen to have made 27 pints of homemade ketchup from the bumper crop of Vesuvio tomatoes. So imagine those little tiny tomatoes that are really juicy. I cooked them down and I still got 27 pints of homemade ketchup that is so good. I have a friend, her name is Melissa. Shout out to you, Melissa. I don't know why we haven't been friends longer, but we are new friends and I just adore her. And I found out she can't have caramel coloring. So I thought, she already got a jar of my ketchup. Let's use that ketchup to make some homemade barbecue sauce for her. And, well, honestly, for me. You can use any kind of ketchup. You need 4 cups of ketchup. You need 2 packed cups of brown sugar, 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, 3/4 of a cup water, 4 tablespoons ground mustard, 3 tablespoons smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons powdered garlic, granulated garlic. Look, you know how much I love garlic. I reserve the right to add more garlic later when I'm tasting. So keep your powdered garlic out. You might want to reserve that right too. Just saying. 2 teaspoons chili powder. You can find the recipe for chili powder on my website. I'll link it down below. 2 tablespoons of canning salt. 1 tablespoon ground pepper. I'm using coarse grind. Not sure it matters. It's just what I have. 3 tablespoons Worcestershire sauce. This is my hack to get most of the molasses out of the end of a jar. Use any wide mouth or canning funnel. Prop it up and let it just drain. I hate waste, so. And when I've measured out my 1.5 cups of molasses, I'm going to run a little bit of my apple cider vinegar in here and swirl it around and get whatever else is left out of there, because I'm frugal like that. The last thing you need is some cherry jam. You don't have to use cherry jam. If you don't have anything like this that you want to use, add 1 more cup of packed brown sugar. So that would be a total of 3 cups. I am using my homemade sweet cherry jam. A store locally was having a great deal on big fat sweet cherries and I bought just a ton. I actually got greedy and I bought too much, if I'm being honest. And I thought, oh, I'll make jam. And it makes excellent jam, but kind of too sweet for me. None of us really dig it. I think it would make a great jam for inside, like between 2 layer cake. But I thought it would make a great addition to barbecue sauce because it adds that little fruity element. And it's enough sweet that I think it will make a great substitute for the brown sugar. So we're going to put 1 cup of cherry jam in there. And I reserve the right to add more based on how it tastes. So those are our ingredients. I'm going to get a big pot and throw it all together. You just want to add all your ingredients to the pan. And we're going to cook it over medium-high heat. I'll need me a rubber spatula. I'm not turning the heat on yet because I have all these ingredients to incorporate and I want to make sure they're well mixed together before I get that heat going. I'm cooking over gas and it gets hot really quickly. I'm just putting it all in here, no particular order. Just make sure that you put your vinegar, your liquids in last. Here's my cherry jelly, my cherry jam, so thick. Here's my molasses coming in. So I'm going to pour my apple cider vinegar in there to try to break up some of that goo and get as much of that molasses out as possible. It'll help with cleanup later as well. And we know vinegar makes a great degreaser. It makes a great cleaner, so why not? We're already putting it in there. That really cleaned that up nicely. It's not bad. Same thing with my bottle. I promised you I was going to do it. Going to put my vinegar in there. I stupidly threw away the lid, but you know, I'll get what I can out of there. Got a little bit more. Now the rest of my vinegar can go in there. We're going to heat this on medium-high heat, stirring very regularly until it is nice and incorporated. This is kind of a Sweet Baby Ray's knockoff, the original base recipe, but it's going to be very thin, and if I think it's too thin, what I'm going to do is add some clear gel at the end, and I will show you how that works. Clear gel is a modified cornstarch that is safe for canning. I highly recommend that you pressure can. I am pressure canning. I pressure canned my ketchup. I feel safer pressure canning certain low acid foods. It might be full of tomatoes, but that doesn't mean that those tomatoes are high in acidity. I'm not a huge fan of adding citric acid to something that I've already tasted and think tastes great, because citric acid does change the flavor of stuff. I gotta get back and stir that. Why are you keeping me here? Come on! So I'm just going to continue stirring this until it's nice and incorporated. Everything's incorporated very nicely. I'm going to bring it up to a light boil and then turn it down and simmer it until it thickens a bit. I don't like a runny barbecue sauce. If you do, then you're probably close to being done. I like it thicker, like Sweet Baby Ray's. It seems to be my standard. So far, the taste is good, but I want to get some heat under there and kind of unlock some of those spices and other flavors. I want those flavors to meld. I have the sauce very well incorporated. I'm waiting for it to come up to like a light boil. It's definitely thinner than I want. I'm going to add some clear gel. You'll hear a lot of things about clear gel. It's definitely recommended for canning pie filling. I'm going to add it to my barbecue sauce. In my mind, a tomato's a fruit, cherries are fruits. I don't see the difference. I've done it before. It's worked out just fine. I'm not worried, but you can at your own risk. Don't worry about me. I feel good about it. I'm not worried. But if you're worried, then you do you, and you can freeze this. You can it really thin and thicken it when you want to use it. Me, I want the convenience of just popping open a can and having it be pretty much the thickness that I like. Okay, enough about all of that. How are you guys? This was a good time for me to remind you to please subscribe. We're growing our channel and we need you. If you like this content, hit the like button, and love your comments. Please reach out and talk to me. I love interacting with you. Any ideas that you have about barbecue sauce, any barbecue sauce recipes you love to make and can, let me know. I might even try it. This is my first time making home canned barbecue sauce. I'm really excited to make one more thing that I can put on my shelf that I don't have to purchase from a large corporation that puts all kinds of garbage in food that I don't want to eat. I am doing pints. We tend to go through a lot of barbecue sauce, even though it's only Liam and I. We put it on everything. We're the only two people in my family that enjoy barbecue sauce, unless it's on like a pulled pork sandwich. But Liam and I will put it on pretty much anything that will stand barbecue sauce. Pints are going to be fine for me. If you don't think you're going to use that much, I recommend half pints. If you're going to do half pints, it's the same time as the pints. Everything is incorporated. It's come up to a really light boil, a high simmer. I really like how it's looking. I'm going to taste it now. I actually have some Sweet Baby Ray's right here, and I'm going to taste mine, and I'm going to taste this. I'm going to do a little side by side. A little side by side. This is the Sweet Baby Ray's. You can tell it's very thick. They add a lot of things to make it thick. We'll be taste testing it next to my homemade barbecue sauce. The color's good. It's just a little bit runny. Look, there's a cherry. Sweet Baby Ray's. Very sweet. I think that's probably the appeal. It's got a real high, like that sweetness that hits your tongue, and then just a mild heat in the back. I want something very similar. I need to drink some water. Little palate cleanser. Okay, now for the homemade stuff. Okay. Very molasses heavy. I think that's the first flavor that hits your tongue. And it's not sweet enough. It's got too much of a molasses flavor. This is what I'm going to do, okay? Because I'm thinking while I'm talking to you. Another half a cup of cherry jam. Another teaspoon of chili powder, another teaspoon, maybe teaspoon and a half of garlic. It needs to get punched up in the spice department, and we need to tone down some of that molasses flavor. I'm gonna eyeball about a half a cup or a little bit more of the jam. We're gonna get that mixed in there, that kind of melted down. Okay, let's try it again. That's really good. Adding that extra sweetness and a little more spice really cut that molasses bite, that bitterness. It could be because I used half unsulfured and half blackstrap. The blackstrap's a little bit more molasses flavored. It's really heavy, but it's good. It's got that sweetness on the very tip of the tongue and then a nice warm heat toward the back of the tongue. Now, this would be where you'd want to add cayenne pepper or more seasonings if you want a spicy barbecue sauce. I was going for more of that Sweet Baby Ray's, and it's not exactly Sweet Baby Ray's, it's Sweet Baby Misty's. It's really good. And the cherries really add something, and I like it so much better in a barbecue sauce than on my toast, so that works out. What I'm trying to say is, don't throw away things that you're not 100% happy with, because your brain will figure out ways to repurpose those into something mightier and better, and you're not wasting ingredients. I will make more cherry barbecue sauce. I really like this, so I have to write this all down really quick before I forget. And I'm gonna get back to the stove. I want to talk about clear gel for just a second. You can't use regular cornstarch if you're canning. Do not do it. You need clear gel, and you need the cook type of clear gel. There's instant clear gel. It's not going to work for canning. You need cook type clear gel if you're going to thicken up your sauce. Let me show you how I'm going to do it. Put some of your sauce, whatever you want to thicken, in a side dish. Oh, that's so pretty. You'll need your whisk. Follow me. You want 2/3 cup of clear gel. I put it in here, I don't know why. You want to add that clear gel, it's a powder, to the top of the liquid. I was going to use this to mix it, and then I stupidly put the clear gel in there first, and you can't, it will be lumpy otherwise. You want to put the powder on top of the liquid. So we're going to create a little bit of a slurry. We're going to mix that together till there's no lumps. Now, I like to do it in a separate bowl because it's a lot easier to get rid of lumps in this bowl than it is in that big pot. Now, I'm going to take this slurry over to my big pot and add it in and bring it up to a boil. All right. Okay, now that I have my slurry in there, I'm going to bring my heat up to like a medium-high, stirring constantly with my whisk until that thickens up. Okay, we've got boiling, and it's thickening up quite nicely. You don't want to keep it on a boil, but you do want to boil it about 1 minute. Then you can turn the heat off, and it will thicken more when it cools. And I think it's going to be just nice once it thickens. Once it stands a little, I think it'll be, whoop, it's starting to blurp. I am going to save myself. I do not want 3rd-degree burns. It got nice and thick. It started to shoot blurps out, so I turned it off. We're going to let it cool, and I'll show you just how thick it got. I don't have time to can it this afternoon. I'll let it cool down today. I will put it in the fridge, and tomorrow morning we'll bring it out of the fridge, get it right back up, and get canning. Let's look at color. Now this one, the commercial one, the first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. Corn syrup also shows up another time later on. There's caramel color in here. There is some other preservatives. They do put tamarind in there, which makes me think I could maybe try to make barbecue sauce with my tamarind chutney that I made last April, but that's just how my brain works. I like Sweet Baby Ray's, but I don't like that the first ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. You saw what went into this. The only thing that went in there that was sweet was actual sugar. There's no corn syrup in here. It's a beautiful, rich, rich color. I actually think this looks so appetizing. Let's give it a taste test. I got the Sweet Baby Ray's here. I have a whole different opinion about it now. Like, a completely different opinion. It seems like all I can taste is that cloying sweetness and black pepper. That's all I really got. Now for... wow. It's like no comparison. The flavor profile in the homemade stuff is so complex. There's so much going on there. It's incredible. I get heat without being able to pick out one specific flavor. I don't taste the black pepper, and it's more of a complete experience than in different zones on in my mouth. Like with the Sweet Baby Ray's, I'm getting like real cloying sweetness and then just black pepper. With this, I am getting a lot going on at once. I think the addition of the cherry jam really punched it up quite a bit. It's all happening at once. After I swallow it, like, there's definitely sweet, but it's not cloyingly sweet. It doesn't taste artificially sweet. Once that sweetness, like, it instantly melts away and you're left with kind of a smoky, tangy, subtle heat. I cannot wait to cook something with this. I think we're having something barbecue real soon in our future. I am so excited. And we'll just put Sweet Baby Ray's on this side and my homemade cherry barbecue sauce on this side. I'm going to tilt the plate up and we can just see the viscosity of each. That got pretty thick. It is tomorrow. And I'm really glad I didn't can yesterday. My mind was working in the background. I think that, like, after having this sit in the fridge, after doing that viscosity test, I think I went too far toward thickness. Like, I think that I need to add some water and thin this down just a little bit. It's almost too thick to like brush on anything or use as a dipping sauce. I will modify my recipe to say only use like a half a cup of clear gel if you're going to do it, or maybe do a quarter of a cup at a time. Might even do that. It may be the pectin in the cherry jam that helped to thicken it up. What do you guys think? It's easily fixable. I have to heat it up anyway. You can see I've got my situation all set up. And I don't know, somebody asked me about this. When I can on this mat instead of a towel. Do you know how many towels I've ruined? Many. I have ruined many kitchen towels. So I went and found this. This is a dish draining mat. And it's got these little ridges on it. So my jars sit up here. And I love it because it helps protect against shock, on the counter. That's why you want to put down a towel. But it's so cleanable. I can just rinse it off in between batches. I absolutely love it. So that's what I do there. I don't use a towel. I just use this over and over again. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the stove and get it gently heating up. And then I'll just add water to get it to the viscosity that I want. Okay, I have my Presto digital canner right here. I have 3 quarts of water in there. And while I'm thinning down my barbecue sauce, I'm going to fill my jars halfway with water so that they can start heating up. And this will do that for me. I have a variety of sizes. The original recipe that I based this on says about 5.5 pints, but that was without thickening it. So I am just doing a variety of pints, this 12 ounce, and then a couple half pints just to see what I end up getting. They're all going to process at 20 minutes. Once you get your jars filled up halfway, you just place them in the canner. I'm going to put the lid on. And we're going to do pints at 20 minutes and quarts at 25 minutes. Lid is on. The regulator is off. Okay? It's locked. And we want it to say pressure can. So I'm going to hit this button here, and I'm going to set the time for 20 minutes, and then I hit the go button, and it's going to tell me to insert the jars, which I did. And now it's going to heat my jars up. I'm going to just turn it on, kind of a medium low. I don't want to get it going really fast, but you can see how thick this is. It's super thick. We want to thin that down just a little bit. I'm just going to add about probably a half a cup of water at a time. And it needs to be warm when it goes into those warm jars or we'll have breakage. It's already better. What I want to say about that is don't be discouraged if things don't go exactly how you think they're going to go. There's always another workaround. There's always another way to save what you did. Unless you've completely hosed it, there's usually something you can do to fix it. So I'm glad I had that overnight. I feel like that was such a blessing. Really glad I didn't can it that thick. Basically, I made barbecue sauce concentrate yesterday. This is beeping at me and it's telling me to fill the jars. We're ready to can. Okay, we gotta do this. So I have my warm jar and my hot barbecue sauce. You want to fill up your jar, 1/2 inch headspace. You want to measure the 1/2 inch, so my 1/2 inch is here. This is really thick, but you do want to still make sure that you're debubbling, which is going to make a big mess out of your measuring tool. So I have a little spatula with me to help keep this sticky to a minimum. We'll see. You are going to need white vinegar and a clean towel, but you want to make sure this rim has no food on it. We're going to put our lid on there and the ring. All right, there we go. And you just want to do finger tight. So there it starts to grab, and there I stop. And I'm just going to put this back in the water. How about I do all of that and I'll be back in 2 seconds. I got 5 full pints and 1 12-ounce jar, and look what I had left over. Nothing! Wow, nothing. Well, I'm going to put this in and get going. It's a beautiful thing. Keep the regulator off. Now, after we fill the jars, we're going to just press this, and it's going to say heat. And once it starts venting, it'll tell me to put the regulator on. So we just wait now. And it's going to say 10 minutes, and this will count down. And when that 10 minutes of venting, see all that crazy steam? That's normal. When it's done venting, it will tell me to put the regulator on. Okay. Now it's telling me to put the regulator on, and it's beeping. You want to avoid putting your hand in that steam, but you can put the regulator on real quick. Make sure it's pointing to ceiling, and now we're going to advance it. Now the timing starts, and you're canning. Yay! Cool, and 10 minutes. So it's just counting down from 10 minutes. I just watched this pin drop. It's the pin that locks this lid. Now I'm not opening the lid. I'm going to wait 10 minutes for this timer, and it'll tell me when it's done. This part is the best part. When you open any lid, try to open it away from yourself. Let the steam escape out the back. Well, it doesn't look great. I have some barbecue sauce in my water, which is never a good sign. Looks like maybe one overflowed. I see the one that possibly overflowed. It's pretty messy in there. I'm not going to worry about that one. Chances are it's not going to seal. Come down here. No, really, I need you. This one here looks like it might have overflowed, and we will see if anything doesn't seal. Hopefully I'll get some to seal. I wanted to give one to my friend Melissa. I'm hopeful. We'll see. I do have a pretty big mess to clean up, and I may come back and tell you they all sealed. I may come back and tell you none of them sealed. Maybe it's still just a little too viscous, but I think 1/2 inch headspace with the clear gel that was in there probably wasn't enough, and it came out. If I were to do it again, I would do a 1 inch headspace if it's that thick. My friend Kirk says that in sports, there's not wins and losses, there's wins and lessons. Well, I'm going to take this yesterday's L and turn it into a lesson. I had 6 jars in the cannery yesterday, and we had significant overflowage. I didn't have enough headspace. That's okay. I had 1 seal. Everything's so sticky. I'm going to make sure it's a true seal. Yeah, I had 1 seal. So look at that. This is so dirty. Not enough headspace. It overflowed. But that's okay. I'm going to show you that not all is lost. I'm going to set this aside to clean it up. The rest I'm going to put back in a saucepan, and I'm going to recan it. I already have jars heating up in my pressure canner. We're going to give the jars 1 inch of headspace. It's going to be fine. And you know what? Do you know why my tagline is modern homesteading that we can learn together? You're gonna see my flops, you're gonna see my stumbles. That's how we learn. And it's just not even a problem. It's a little bit more work. This is worth it. It's really good. Okay, this time we're gonna do 1-inch headspace, which is right about here. Clean very well with vinegar. For the win. Wow, I got to enjoy the stickiness twice. It turns out that my lesson cost us a little over half a pint of barbecue sauce. They're ready. They're already in the canner. It's going. I'm going to clean up my mess. You know, this is why you got to watch the whole video, because you learn so much stuff. I'm here to teach you. Through my stumbles, may you not trip. May that be a blessing to you. And I'm going to write all this down so I don't do the stupid same mistake again. That's how we grow. We have pinging. That is a win. Take 2 for success. No overflowing. That 1-inch headspace really made a difference. And again, I'm just here to encourage you not to give up. You know, part of canning and part of doing things that are new includes some lessons. Not failures, lessons. All right? We're not losers. We're winners because we have success for just sticking with it. What do you think about the new barbecue sauce I made yesterday? So, we're good? This is the part where I say, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you haven't already done so. And as always, I love your comments. I love interacting with you. It's been really fun. I'm just having a good time doing this. So let's grow this channel together. You know, those of you who've been with me since the beginning, mwah! And those of you who are just joining me today, mwah! I love you guys. So God bless you. Have a wonderful day. And here's some more videos. Boop, boop, boop. Bye.